A UK lawmaker has been suspended for his role as a foreign officer minister after he was recorded grabbing a female Greenpeace activist at a dinner. Mark Field has apologized for his behavior, but government officials, including Prime Minister Theresa May, say they found the incident, quote, very concerning. Richard Galpin from our partners at the BBC has details.
The Chancellor of the Exchequer was on his feet giving his annual speech about the state of the economy when Greenpeace activists in red dresses made their way inside and started reading out an alternative speech calling for radical action to tackle a global climate emergency. As one of the activists, Janet Barker, moved further into the hall, the Conservative MP and Minister Mark Field leapt up to intervene. After pushing her against a pillar, he grabbed her around the back of her neck to force her out.
I was simply walking past his chair, or trying to walk past his chair. So they were really over the top. I'd quite like him to go on anger management, perhaps, and I hope he doesn't do it again.
40 Greenpeace volunteers, almost all of them women, had managed to get inside the Mansion House, apparently without being asked to provide any identification. They'd assumed their action would eventually be dealt with, but not the level of force used by Mark Field.
It was clearly assault. Whether it was justified or not remains to be seen and should be under investigation. And if he is going to be under police investigation, of course he should resign.
In a statement, Mark Field said that in the confusion, many guests understandably felt threatened. And when one protester rushed past me towards the top table, I instinctively reacted. There was no security present, and I was for a split second genuinely worried she might be armed. Mr. Field has since been suspended as a Foreign Office Minister.
Well, Mark has issued a full and unreserved apology. He recognises that what happened was an overreaction, but what we need now, in his interest, but also in the interest of the lady involved, is a proper independent inquiry by the Cabinet Office. That's what's going to happen.
At the Mansion House, all the protesters were eventually bundled out of the hall, and Mr. Hammond, back on his feet, had this response.
The irony, of course, is that this is the government that has just led the world by committing to a zero-carbon economy by 2050.
Despite what happened to Janet Barker, she's now said she will not press charges against Mr. Field. And while there will be an investigation into the minister, security at the Mansion House will also be under scrutiny. Richard Galpin, BBC News.